Ladies and gentlemen, as the riots rage on in Los Angeles, some very peculiar information has come to light, and I'll tell you what, right now, Senator Adam Schiff is sweating bullets. Now, as many of you know, late last night, President Trump gave the order to deploy 2,000 National Guardsmen to the streets of Los Angeles in order to help shut down the absolutely unhinged, radically progressive riots taking place. And so, folks, can you take a wild guess who took massive issue with President Trump's attempt to restore law and order? That's right, California Senator Adam Schiff. As he posted as all of this was unfolding, the Trump administration's calling on the California National Guard without the authorization of the governor is unprecedented. This action is designed to inflame tensions, sow chaos, and escalate the situation. If the Guard is needed to restore peace, the governor will ask for it. But continuing down this path will erode trust in the National Guard and set a dangerous precedent for unilateral misuse of the Guard across the country. Violence must stop, and we need to keep the focus on protecting fundamental rights. There is nothing President Trump would like more than a violent confrontation with protesters to justify the unjustifiable, invocation of the Insurrection Act, or some form of martial law. So folks, you hear all of that? According to Democratic Senator Adam Schiff, it's actually President Trump who's creating all of this chaos in Los Angeles, not the millions of illegal aliens that the Democrats allowed into the country. He also says that President Trump's characterization of the LA riots as an insurrection is just crazy, but folks, when your country has been invaded by millions of illegal aliens, and they're all waving foreign flags, and they're assaulting federal officers, what else do you call it? This entire situation is undeniably an insurrection, and the Democrats, Adam Schiff included, have helped facilitate it. But so folks, like I said earlier, as all of this has been unfolding, some very curious information about Adam Schiff has been brought to light, and I think all of you are going to want to take a look at this. But first, before we get to that, I do want to say real quick that if you folks enjoy the daily news coverage, please consider subscribing to the channel because it really does help a ton. But okay, check this out. You see, one of the far-left political action groups actively supporting the ongoing riots in Los Angeles actually endorsed Adam Schiff's Senate campaign in 2024. In fact, take a look at this. Just yesterday afternoon, this political action group, the Coalition of Humane Immigrant Rights, otherwise known as CHIRLA, issued a statement saying this: "Stop the deportations, these are workers, these are fathers, and these are mothers." And so folks, we all know exactly what is going on here. Why do you think that this anti-ICE, pro-illegal alien political action group would support and endorse Senator Adam Schiff? Because they know that he loves illegal aliens just as much as they do, and they know that when push comes to shove, Adam Schiff will do everything within his power to help defend and protect all of these illegal aliens. But you know what, folks? It actually gets even worse. You see, while he was on the campaign trail in 2024, Adam Schiff actually made a guest appearance at one of CHIRLA's political events, during which he argued on behalf of various radically progressive open border policies and in defense of illegal aliens. But now, I'm sure many of you are wondering, where is CHIRLA getting all of their money? Who's funding them? Well, the answer is you. To this very day, this far-left open border political action group, CHIRLA, is still raking in hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of federal taxpayer money from a Biden-era grant from, guess what? The Department of Homeland Security. So to be very clear, the Biden administration actually granted this open border illegal alien activist group a taxpayer-funded $450,000 grant from the Department of Homeland Security. Folks, you can't make this up. So when we talk about how the far-left Democrats have directly facilitated the illegal alien invasion of our country, this is exactly what we are talking about. The reality is, the Democrats intentionally opened the borders. They've been giving federal taxpayer money to illegal alien activist groups, and now they're actively working to aid and abet all of their beloved illegal aliens from President Trump's federal immigration officers. So as a reminder, yes, despite what the Democrats are trying to say right now, this entire situation is, in fact, an insurrection. But as I'm sure you've all seen, right now the Democrats are trying to downplay all of this. Take a look.
The reality is we see peaceful protests launching in Los Angeles. And again, any violence against police officers should not be accepted. Local authorities can handle that. But remember, a lot of these peaceful protests are being generated because the President of the United States is sowing chaos and confusion by arresting people who are showing up for their immigration hearings.
You hear that, folks? Really, these are just peaceful protests only taking place because the evil President Trump is going around arresting innocent people. Well, newsflash, if you are an illegal alien, meaning that you are in this country illegally, you can and should be arrested anytime, anywhere, and then deported. That is what the American people just overwhelmingly voted for. But okay, so are these protests actually peaceful?
It's pretty bad.
That's a different question. But I just want to just state for the record that what did happen in 1992 was so different from what we're seeing now. I mean, that was a real riot that went all across the city of Los Angeles after a verdict in the Rodney King case. This is a situation where the LA County Police,
Dana,
it's not good, but they're saying that they have it under control, and the president is sending national troops,
Dana,
federal troops, in a way that
we can look at
hasn't
this
been
and
done
we
in
can
a long
obviously
time.
see that it is not under control. It's not under control. You and I both can see that. It's not under control. And a riot is a riot. They're throwing all types of objects at law enforcement, and the president is absolutely right.
Yeah, and so, folks, these are not peaceful protests, these are riots. As I'm sure many of you have seen by now, what's been taking place in Los Angeles can only be described as complete and total violent anti-American chaos. People are being assaulted, cars are being lit on fire, businesses are being robbed and destroyed. This entire situation is anything but peaceful. Still, though, the entire left-wing progressive media is trying to downplay the entire situation. Take a look. And so, folks, yes, he is. President Trump is absolutely right. This is a riot. This is an insurrection. Now, I will give you all some good news, though. The National Guard have been deployed, and if the riots continue to escalate, President Trump has said that he'll deploy the U.S. Marines as well. President Trump is done playing around. Now that he's back in the White House, he has absolutely zero tolerance for any of this anti-American, radically progressive behavior, and in fact, President Trump's FBI just issued a statement last night saying that once the riots have concluded, once they're done, they'll be tracking down and arresting every single person that has assaulted a federal law enforcement officer. And so, hey, good. All of these people need to be held accountable because, as I like to say, if we want to actually make America great again, that is what it's going to take. Now, ladies and gentlemen, before we wrap up, I do want to say real quick that we officially have a Morse News Twitter page as well as a Morse News Facebook page. So if you use either of those platforms, please go down below and drop a follow in order to get breaking news updates that relate to everything we talk about here in the YouTube videos. But everyone, that is going to be a wrap for today's video, so please go down below and drop a comment. Let me know what you think about all of this. Please like the video while you're down there, and like I said earlier, please consider subscribing to the channel because it really does help a ton. Thank you all very much for tuning in today, and of course, as always, stay safe.